Lions are one of the deadliest animals in the wild. They are cunning, they are fierce, and above all, they own their territory with brutal force. But what happens when one of these apex predators goes up against an absolute tank of an animal? A real beefed-up beast that's 4 times its body weight, with massive razor-sharp horns jutting from its head. The outcome is perhaps exactly what you'd expect. Or perhaps nothing at all like what you'd expect. This ferocious feline made the mistake of locking onto the wrong prey, and it paid the ultimate price of getting mauled to death in a brutal showdown that left no doubt as to who the real king is of that particular jungle. Known as Black Death or Widowmaker, this African bovid is infamous for that reason. It thrives in the harshest environments, facing off against the nastiest creatures on the planet, where more often than not it comes out on top. Meet the lion killer on steroids, the mighty African buffalo. It's a scorching hot evening in July 2004. Prolific hunter Bob Fontana is stalking Africa's big game predators in the wild savannas of Tanzania. For context, Africa's big game animals is a term coined by hunters to refer to the 5 most difficult animals in Africa to hunt on foot. This includes lions, leopards, rhinos, elephants, and the hero of today's video, the African buffalo. After what feels like an eternity of turning over every stone, Bob finally strikes gold and spots something lurking behind a thicket. He raises his rifle, ready to pull the trigger when, out of the blue, the ground beneath his feet starts trembling like a leaf with the arrival of the wildest card of the Big Five. Before he can even bat an eye to see what's coming, a pair of deadly black horns come charging at him, lifting him off the ground and tossing him like a tattered puppet. Then, in a flash, the beast slams into him again, this time landing a fatal blow to his head. Those on the scene might say that Bob died before he even hit the ground. And the killer, as you'd expect, was the Widowmaker, the deadly African buffalo itself. That, however, remains just one of the many reasons why these beasts are a force to be reckoned with in the animal kingdom. We'll get to the rest, but first, let's give them a proper introduction. Syncerus Kaffir, better known as the African buffalo, is a beast of a bovine, hanging out in swamps, floodplains, mopaine grasslands, and the dense forests of Africa's major mountains, where water is never far away. Being one of the most widely known bovines, this straight-up tank of an animal is divided further into 5 subspecies, with the Cape buffalo reigning as the largest of them all. They can tip the scales anywhere from 550 to 2,200 pounds and stand between 3.3 and 5.6 feet tall, having long, stocky bodies with legs built like tree trunks, which gives them a lower, powerful stance compared to other big bovids. In Africa, these giants have earned a reputation as some of the most dangerous animals on the continent, and they've got the goods to back it up. The biggest weapon in their arsenal is, as you might have guessed, the wickedly sharp, curved horns they wear. Known for their bases that come very close together, these horns form a strong, solid shield at the top of their heads, called a boss. From there, they drop down and then swoop up and out, sometimes curling in or even back. In the biggest bulls, these lethal weapons can spread out to a mind-blowing 3.2 feet, with the record stretching to an insane 5.3 feet. Just to put that into perspective for you, that is just a couple of inches shorter than the height of an average human. Now, imagine something like that barreling towards you at relentless speed, hell-bent on taking you down, and anything that happens to be between you and it. The chances of survival are at a bare minimum. Every year, these savage beasts gore, trample, and straight-up kill over 200 people. To unleash the maximum power when slamming into something, the animal keeps its profile low, with the top of its head sitting below its backline. Its front hooves are wider than the rear ones, built to handle all the muscle and weight packed into the front end. This setup leaves the back end feeling light, making that thing ridiculously agile. On top of that, they're extremely unpredictable, especially when they're injured or cornered. In hunting communities, they say it's the dead ones that get up and kill you. While that's, of course, a metaphorical reference, in reality, a downed African buffalo is always approached from behind, as you never know if they're gonna get up and unleash a brutal counterattack, despite being riddled with bullets from the shots. This unpredictable temperament is what drives them to clash with the most fearsome predator of the wild, lions. In some parts of Africa, buffaloes are the primary meal ticket for lions. But taking down a full-grown African buffalo is an almost impossible feat for a single lion. When this big cat approaches a buffalo, making it feel threatened, the massive bovine emits a series of menacing snorts and stomps its colossal hooves as a warning. But that rarely deters the lion, who is just as intimidating. So, these giant brutes, with their sweeping, razor-edged horns, explode into a brutal charge, aiming straight at the lion's most vulnerable spots. If that feline doesn't move fast enough, it can get gored, sent flying into the air like a rag doll, and then trampled under the buffalo's powerful hooves. The sheer force of this charge can flip the script in an instant, turning the hunter into the hunted. And even if the lion manages to dodge the initial attack, the buffalo's not finished. It'll whirl around with surprising agility, looking to deliver another devastating blow, wielding those horns like a savage executioner's axe. Because of this raw power and ferocity, it almost takes an entire pride to bring down a single adult buffalo. The lions know they're playing a dangerous game, and they do not take it lightly. They will circle the herd, picking out the weakest or most isolated target. But even then, the buffalo will not go down without a fight. They also team up, and as the lions close in, they bunch together, forming a wall of muscle and horn, ready to defend their own with their lives. When the battle begins, it is, well, chaos. The lions launch their attack, claws and teeth flashing as they try to latch onto the buffalo's back or neck. But the buffalo fights back with everything it's got, thrashing, kicking, and swinging those deadly horns. This isn't just a fight, it is a brutal clash of raw instinct and unrelenting ferocity, where anything can happen at any moment. While a herd of full-grown African buffaloes can usually chase off lions with ease, even if the pride manages to bring down an adult, many lions walk away with deep gashes and broken bones, if they can walk at all. On top of that, these relentless beasts are notorious for holding grudges and seeking vengeance. This so-called king of the jungle has committed a crime. It took down one of the African buffaloes, and now the rest of the herd is out for blood. The enraged bovines are on a rampage, forcing the big cat to scramble up a tree for its life. The lion ends up stuck in that tree for a grueling 2 hours, desperately clinging to the branches to avoid being gored to death by a vengeful herd. But this ultimate showdown doesn't just end with lions. These grumpy buffaloes also run into other members of the Africa's Big Five, leading to violent clashes with nearly everybody, be it rhinos, elephants, leopards, or even crocodiles, or hyenas, wild dogs, anything, you name it, they will fight it. And in almost every encounter, the stakes are just as deadly as they are unpredictable. The African buffalo is one of the top grazers in Africa, and it's not just by chance either. When it comes to feeding, they use their rough tongues and wide set of incisors to rip through grass far quicker than most other herbivores on the continent. Their specialized four-chambered stomach efficiently breaks down tough plant fibers, squeezing out every last bit of nutrition needed to fuel its massive frame. And because of their proximity to water, these guys are incredible swimmers, and they are not afraid to plunge into rivers in search of greener pastures. Not only that, but they can chunk down a staggering 7.6 gallons of water in just a couple of minutes. An African buffalo moves in herds of all sizes, where the core group is made up of females and their offspring, all organized in a strict dominance hierarchy. Surrounding this central group are smaller herds of lower-ranking males, dominant males and females, and older or less capable animals. Besides that, these wild giants have truly fascinating social behaviors. When it's time to rest, the females get up, shift around, and plop back down in the direction that they believe they should head. After a solid hour of this shifting routine, they finally head off in the direction that they have collectively chosen. This decision-making process is a group effort, not dictated by rank or dominance, but rather as a sort of communal consensus. When danger strikes and predators come a-charging, the herd pulls together like a fortress. Calves are huddled in the center while the adults form a protective ring around them. The outermost buffaloes take on the role of defenders, either launching fierce attacks against the predators or issuing loud warnings. This united front makes it incredibly difficult for predators to single out, target an individual, turning the herd into a nearly impenetrable wall of meat and fury. And if by any chance the big cats manage to isolate an individual during an attack, there's no way the rest of them are just going to leave them to their fate. This massive buffalo somehow got stuck on a ridge of an outcrop while apparently trying to escape the lions. The predators thought, hey, we got an easy kill here, but of course the herd stormed in, driving the lions off and rescuing the individual. Female African buffaloes hit sexual maturity around 5 years old, while the males get there a bit sooner, usually between 4 and 6 years of age. These animals time their mating and birthing to the rhythm of rainy seasons. Now, when a cow comes into heat, the bull is on high alert, keeping a close watch and doing everything in its power to fend off rivals. But that is no easy task. The females are elusive, and their scent draws in males from all directions, leading to fierce confrontations amongst the rivals. Only the most dominant bull stays on her side until she's ready to mate. After mating, cows undergo a lengthy gestation period of approximately 11.5 months before giving birth. The newborn hides in vegetation for the first few weeks, nursing from its mother until it's strong enough to join the herd. In the wild, African buffaloes live an average of 11 years, but some can push it to 22. The biggest threat to the African buffalo is the destruction of their habitat, thanks to shrinking territories, expanding settlements, and the relentless livestock grazing. On top of that, being one of the big five makes these buffalo prime targets for trophy hunters, with some of the desperate souls shelling out $10,000 just for the thrill of nailing one down. This only piles onto the problems that are driving these magnificent creatures even closer to the brink. According to the IUCN Red List, the African buffalo population is estimated at around 570,000, and it continues to decline, which has landed them in the near-threatened category. However, despite this, it seems African lions are still not going to catch a break anytime soon, and with only about 40,000 of them remaining, looks like these big cats are in an even tougher spot than the buffaloes, fighting an uphill battle against both the relentless march of time as well as those fierce American bovids. Anyways, what do you think? Is there any other beasts that could match the African buffalo's tenacity in a showdown versus a lion? Share your thoughts in the comments, and as always, I will see you later.